welcome. Here we go. Happy Friday. It's Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org and on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. Today is Friday, January 8th, 2021. And as we continue through the truly the most exciting transition in our lifetimes. I was thinking about this earlier. You know, the time of transition from one administration to the next, it tends to be just a perfunctory exercise. Really, it's not very exciting. Not a lot that happens. You know, one candidate loses, the other wins. One candidate concedes, the other begins the transition process, or they together begin the transition process, right? And it's all very dull, except for, as the new cabinet begins to take shape. That part is interesting, but the rest of it, it's just, pretty normal. But, wow, these are wild times, my friends, wild times. Big breaking news today. President Trump will not be attending the inauguration, but I think we all kind of knew that, did we not? Anyway, so much going on, so much to discuss on this Friday. You can call me at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007 if you'd like to chime in on anything. You can also send a text to 617-917-4476. You can tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. So, and of course, you can opine and interact in the Facebook live chat on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. Please give that a big old like if you haven't done so already. We would appreciate it tremendously. But of course, the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to call us at 603-250-6007 on this Friday afternoon. Speaking of Friday, of course, I don't know why I say speaking of Friday, but hey, Friday is a great day, as is any day, except for Monday and Tuesday, because that's when they're closed. But to go to the Hop Knot, our wonderful sponsor in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. And we have some exciting sponsorship news, by the way, that I'll share with you momentarily. But we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
What's up, buddy?
Tony D from Philadelphia. How are you, my friend?
Good, man. I got some good news today.
I saw it in the Facebook live chat, but I'll let you go ahead and announce it to everyone in Radio Land.
Having another baby.
You're having a baby. Wow. Well, good for you. Congratulations. Another one. How many do you have already?
This will be 3, and this is it.
This will be the 3rd. Wow.
Yes, I will be getting a good old snippet after this.
Oh, okay. Yes. The old snip.
Yes, with the bag of peas that you got to have on yourself for a couple days. That's what I'll be doing.
Yeah, I haven't. Well, I wouldn't know. I haven't. I have not had the procedure. Although, despite not having the procedure, I have successfully, because I'm a little strange. I was born totally devoid of any paternal instinct. I've never for a second in my life wanted to have a child. So I've been fortunate to, and Jenny, of course, is not interested in having any additional children. So we're good there. But good for you, man. Obviously, you want to procreate and make more of you. So it's a happy day.
Actually, this was not planned.
Oh.
This was not planned.
Now be careful about announcing that publicly, though. When I was a kid. Now you're younger than I am, Tony. You're only in your 30s, so I don't know if you remember this. Do you have any remembrance of the program, the television sitcom Mr. Belvedere?
I do not, but I have heard of it.
You've heard of it, okay. Well, there's an episode of Mr. Belvedere where the eldest son finds a box of like some letters or something, some love letters between his parents in the attic. And in the course of reading the letters, it comes to the eldest son's attention that he, in fact, was not planned. and he is devastated by this, and he cannot believe that his parents never told him that he was not planned, or some might even say an accident, which is a terrible thing to say about a child. So just be careful. I don't want your impending child to grow up someday and find this program and realize that they were not planned and have some sort of complex over it.
They might find this on the unsheathed side in the archives file one day and come back to me and say, "Hey, Dad, you were talking to Matt Connarton, and I heard this." I could hear that conversation very well.
Yes. So something
20 years down the line, all of a sudden the archives come up, we wipe the dust off, and there we go. And then you got Easy G dropping the S-bomb. They go through that episode first.
Yep. There's all kinds of scandal. You don't want to get caught up in it.
Are we starting our own conspiracy theories here, Matt? We can't go that route. You know how that turns out.
Well, it is Down and Dirty Friday.
Yo, who sang that song?
Oh, the song I opened with, that was Foreigner. That's from their
okay, that's what I thought it was.
That's from their 1991 album Unusual Heat. It's the one and only album they did with Jimmy Edwards on lead vocals, because Lou Gramm had left the band. So Foreigner tried it with Jimmy Edwards for that one. And then after that, Lou Gramm returned to the band. And today, Foreigner is fronted by Kelly Hansen. But that was their one album with Jimmy Edwards. And the entire time, so yesterday on the show, from that moment on, From that moment when Easy G called in and he used the phrase "down and dirty," I had that song stuck in my head, and I was like, I've got to open with this song on Friday. It's not quite perfect. It would be better if it was down and dirty and not low down and dirty, because the phrase Easy G used was down and dirty. But I was like, close enough. I have to play that song.
Well, on a more serious topic,
yes.
Two things. What is your thoughts? What's the name of the band? What is it? Ice Age or Aged Ice or something like that? This dude that is from this guitar player from this band. What's the band? Have you seen that? That was at the Trump rally.
Oh, no. A guitar player from a particular band who was there?
Oh, yeah. They got like 6.4 million followers.
Oh.
Metal Injection released it. He broke in. He's the lead guitar player for a band. I think they're called like Aged Ice or something. I'll hold on for a second. Let me just pull it up. Guitar player. Let's see.
I'm trying to find it too. We'll see who finds it first. Iced Earth.
Iced Earth, that's it. Yeah, he's a lead guitar player for them. They're actually really good. They're actually a really good like underground band.
Yeah,
they're signed to a label.
I'm familiar with Iced Earth. Yeah, for those who don't know, they're kind of, if you like Iron Maiden, you'd probably like Iced Earth. Yeah.
So the lead guitarist for them, John Schofer, he broke into the building with all the protesters, and he is now on the FBI's most wanted list.
No kidding.
Yes, he is on the FBI's most wanted list, and he has gone unsearched right now. He is hiding, but they are looking for him. They were at his residence today, and he was not there.
Wow.
So he is on the FBI's most wanted list right now, and the front man of the band, he's also part of a violent militia group, something Oath. And he's part of this very, very violent militia group.
Oath Keepers?
And all these, what is it? Oh, that's it. Oh, yep.
Oath Keepers, okay, yep.
And he's part of them, and all this stuff is coming out now from fans that are saying, look, we ain't supporting this band no more. That's what they've been getting. And their front man had to come out publicly yesterday and put a statement out on regards to John, the guitar player. And, yeah, he's on the FBI's most wanted list for breaking in there. He was actually there in December when they rallied the first time, and this time they're going after him. They want to arrest him.
Wow. Well, yeah.
Isn't that something?
I mean, you know, you take that risk. I mean, obviously you take enough of a risk if you're a recording artist Yep, it's on NME.com. Ice Earth guitarist John Schaefer wanted by police. Yeah, if you Billboard's reporting it, Guitar World is reporting it. You take a risk. I mean, obviously, if you're a recording artist, you know it's always a calculated risk taking any kind of a public political stand. But when you are involved in sedition or activities, depending on how you want to rate this, or if you're involved, as some might say, if you decide to become a domestic terrorist, that's a big risk as far as how your fan base might react to that, and there might be some consequences to your career. Speaking of which, there was this guy apparently who, not anyone famous, but if you work for a company of any kind, you take a risk.
Oh yeah, the
right?
guy yesterday. You talk about the guy yesterday.
The one who is an HR manager of all things for a company.
Yes. This is what I read yesterday. Yep.
A human resources manager would be someone you would think would know better, but couldn't resist.
Well, you want to know how deep they got? There was another guy that was fired from a digital marketing company, and he was wearing his work ID in the building.
Oh, my God. Wow. Well,
they zoomed in on the work ID to see the name of the company.
Yeah. Well,
unbelievable.
That's, look, I mean, let's be honest. These obviously aren't deep thinkers to begin with. So stupid people are going to make stupid mistakes. So, wow. Well,
so someone said to me, I got a message last night about the name of the movie, Insurgents.
Oh, Insurgents. Yeah.
That's what they need. That's what they need. I was like, it's got to be a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
I was like, it's got to be better than that. I said, it's got to be a really good name.
Yeah.
My last question, Matt.
Yes.
This is a question. There seems to be a lot of fear in Trump right now of what's going to happen to him post all this. It's kind of smelling like that right now. That I'm sensing fear from the president right now because it's just the way it looks.
Oh yeah.
Can he pardon himself?
There was some reporting that he had actually been asking about that. That has been actually since very early in the Trump presidency. This has been a question that analysts, lawyers, constitutional scholars, and so on have been trying to determine. It's never been tried. No pun intended. So I don't know. There's a lot of debate about whether or not he can or can't do that, and there's debate about under what circumstances he can and can't do that. But the thing is, even if he does it, even if he attempts it, in the end, it really doesn't help him because regardless of whether he pardons himself or he resigns and Pence pardons him, he can only be pardoned by the chief executive for federal crimes. He cannot be pardoned for state crimes. And I believe the true legal jeopardy that Trump is in comes from the state attorney general's office of New York. That is what is going to put Trump in Rikers. And I think he'll look just adorable in an orange jumpsuit because I think it'll match his skin tone quite nicely.
Yeah,
but
it'll look really good.
Yeah, so
it'll look really good.
I do hope he pardons himself. I hope he attempts it because just out of curiosity, I want to see how that plays out. And it's not like it's going to help him escape punishment for anything because, as I've been saying on the show for months and months now, probably more than a year, I do believe that as soon as he's not president anymore, he will be indicted by the state of New York.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it true, though, that if they do impeach him and use the 25th Amendment, that he cannot run for another political thing?
Yes, apparently that is the case. I only learned that within the last 24 hours. This is why they're trying to impeach him again. If the House impeaches him, I mean, to try to remove him is futile. There's not enough time. Not enough Republicans would go along with it. And I mean, there's really not enough. We've got 12 days left. But if the House can successfully impeach him, and it is a democratically controlled House, a second time, that disqualifies him from ever running for the presidency again. So he cannot run in 2024. And he may not have ever intended to run in 2024, but he's trying to raise a lot of money off of the prospect that he's going to run in 2024. And the delicious thing here is, yes, if they impeach him a second time, he's disqualified from ever running for president again.
That's why they're trying to push this pretty quick.
Yep.
That's why they're trying to put it. Makes sense. It makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because what I heard is on January 19th, I'll let you go after this. January 19th, there's going to be a bunch of pardons. One that is one of grave concern for people down here is Mumuma Abu Jamal. I'm reading it right now on the Inquirer. Is a convicted cop killer from back in the early 70s and 80s that has been trying to get out on like parole and stuff.
Okay.
And on December 9th, 2020, there was a push for him to be pardoned by the president, along with like Joe Exotic and all these other Joe Exotic movie that was on Netflix and all these other people. My thing is like he can pardon as many people as he wants before he leaves office. There's not like a set term for that.
Correct. Yep. He can do whatever he wants as far as pardon power.
And he can pardon anyone. People that have murdered many, many people, he can pardon them if he wanted to.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. As long as it's
wrong. What is wrong with the system?
Well, I'll tell you, and there's very often questions about, there's always talk and then it kind of fades away. But whenever a president does something questionable, a lot of people, this was before you or I were here, but when Ford pardoned Nixon, some people questioned that and wanted to see Nixon prosecuted. During our lifetimes, when Bill Clinton on his way out, I remember a pardon that he issued that was really questionable was Mark Rich, the billionaire financier who had fled the country. Bill Clinton pardoned him, and people went wild. I'd never even heard of Mark Rich until Bill Clinton pardoned him, and it was never clear why exactly Bill Clinton was pardoning him. There were rumors that Clinton may have had an affair with Denise Rich, Mark Rich's wife, and that it was a favor to her and whatnot. I don't think that ever got clarified as what exactly Clinton's motivations were for that, but it was pretty sketchy. And I remember at that time, some people were saying, well, we need to maybe take a look at this, a president's pardon power, and maybe we need to make some adjustments here. But whenever that comes up, it always kind of fades away. I don't remember. Oh, and George W. Bush, there were some very questionable pardons. I think George H.W. Bush there were as well. I don't recall any specific with Obama, but there probably was something because I feel like there is with every president. There's some pardons. It's like that song, Things That Make You Go, But, and of course, Trump has already done several of those, and God knows there will be a whole bunch more coming. Absolutely.
And I think, and the thing is, and I'm glad that you can't do this, what I'm about to say. You can't overturn an election, which is good, but you can pardon murderers.
Yep.
And child molesters and all this other stuff.
Yep.
But we can block, our Constitution blocks from being able to destroy our democracy, stand tall to our Constitution, but we can allow Biden to just pardon people that are just disgusting. It just there's something wrong with the system there.
Although I don't want to see, although even as I agree with what you're saying, but then there's that part of me that almost feels like a hypocrite because I had this fantasy, although obviously I knew it was never going to happen. But as you know, Tony, from being a longtime listener, I vehemently oppose the drug war, and I'm particularly vehement about we must fully federally legalize cannabis. And I had this fantasy of Obama on his way out the door on the last day of his presidency, pardoning all the nonviolent drug offenders currently sitting in federal prison. And I think it would have been the right thing to do, and I think it would have been glorious. But I also knew it wasn't going to happen. Plus, Obama wasn't exactly progressive on that issue to begin with. So,
well, no, I agree with you there. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I would have loved.
I just think like child molesters and rapists and murderers shouldn't even have the option of even having someone be able to pardon them. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think once you're found guilty of a crime of that nature, that there's no way you're going to be turned around from it.
Yeah,
unless some type of like evidence comes out that it proves absolutely that it's not you, and you see that sometimes 30 years down the line, people that serve 30 years, but proof, just facts, evidence, just not someone saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to let this guy go.
Yeah,
even though he killed 15 people.
And there certainly have been instances where presidents have used their pardon power to pardon people who, they've been convicted of something terrible, but then following that, because the system, this is why I oppose the death penalty largely, because the system does fail at times. Sometimes people are convicted of things under some pretty sketchy circumstances in terms of how they were prosecuted or how they were cajoled into giving a confession and so on and so on. So, and that is part of why, by the way, the pardon power exists to begin with, so that the chief executive has that opportunity to right some wrongs where the court system has entirely failed, which I think is perfectly appropriate. But when Trump pardons...
You remember the movie Ghostbusters?
Oh, of course. One? Yeah, absolutely.
You know who Trump reminds me of? And this is such a really good analogy. You remember the health official that came down to the station, and he was like, I need all the documentation for all this stuff that you're doing. And then he goes, shut it down now. Shut it down. He comes in with the cops, shut it down, and all of a sudden all the spirits get released in New York City, and they start causing havoc. And that's Trump. That's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. He's causing all this havoc and releasing all the shit. Sorry.
Oh. It's all right. That's why we're on a delay.
I caught myself right at the end, too. And he's releasing all the spirits right into the city and just letting them destroy everything. That's what it feels like right now. He's just doing everything he can to push to just release.
Well, that's what it looked like the other day in the Capitol. Except, in this case, the spirits, many of them had handlebar mustaches. But yeah, I mean, that's basically what it looked like the other day.
Yeah. So let's get back to you.
All right. All right, Tony, you're cutting in and out a bit there, but it sounded like you said have a great day or something to that effect. So thank you for the call, my friend. All right, take care. All right, that was Tony D from Philadelphia. Yeah, he was totally cutting out at the end there, so I missed part of what he was saying, but I think he was wrapping up anyway. Tony, of course, host of the Tony D Show, which airs Saturdays from 5 to 7 online, and of course the It's All in Your Head show as well with our great friend Christian Lacoste and Kiki Otto, another one of his co-hosts on that show, discussing mental health issues. That opens up a line for you, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text at 617-917-4476, tweet me at Matt Connarton, or email me matt@mattconnerton.com. And as always, you can also... Sorry, I just saw something on Twitter I'm distracted by. And, of course, you can opine and interact in the Facebook live chat. Bill Crystal just tweeted, at Bill Crystal, one article of impeachment, short and strong, and it should be enough. And he retweeted Manu Raju, latest draft of the articles of impeachment that will be formally introduced on Monday includes one article, incitement of insurrection. Okay, they're going for it. They're going to try this. They're going to try to do this. It's the House that has to impeach him. That will pass the House. I mean, obviously, if anyone who has ideas about, will this go to the Senate and then will the Senate convict and remove Trump early, that's not going to happen. But that's absolutely not going to happen, nor is there will be no removal, nor will the 25th Amendment be invoked. As I said, I think I said it on the show yesterday, there's no way beta male Mike Pence has the stones to want to go along with that. And he needs to be a part of that process. He needs to be the principal part of that process, along with the majority of the cabinet. There's no way Mike Pence is going to go for that. So, in fact, I believe I don't think he's addressed it directly, but I believe it's leaked out that there has been talk about it. And Pence has already told people privately, and of course it gets back to the media that, no, that is off the table. I mean, I'm sure Pence feels badly about everything. Mike Pence, I mean, I joke about it, but it really is true. If you ever watch the way Pence comports himself and the look on his face when you see Pence and Trump together and Trump is speaking at the podium, the way Pence gazes, you can't even say the way he looks at Trump, the way he gazes upon Trump, you can see he adores this man, absolutely adores him. And in a platonic way, of course. We don't want, because God would be very upset with Trump if it were Pence, if it were anything more than that. But no, but in all seriousness, I mean, he does clearly love and adore Trump. And I'm sure Pence is very sad that he wasn't able to come through. I mean, look, the only reason I think Pence would do anything within the bounds of the law for Trump. The only reason Pence didn't come through as far as overturning the election is because he could not. There literally were no options that Vice President Mike Pence could have chosen that would not put him in legal jeopardy. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine if I know there's these weird conspiracy theories out there that people like to pass around. What was the one thing I kept seeing? Something about the vice president during the certification, he's handed 2 envelopes and it's up to him to decide which envelope to open. And he can choose to open the envelope that says that Trump gets to continue being president. I mean, it's so absurd. Even if you're a hardcore conspiracy theorist who believes in a lot of this nonsense, you have to realize how ridiculous it would be. That would mean that the vice president just gets to decide who the next president is. I mean, think of how stupid, how just irretrievably inane that is, right? The idea that regardless of how the election is determined, regardless of what the Electoral College says, that the vice president gets to go to Congress and just decide right then and there who the next president is going to be. What sense would that possibly make? How stupid would our founding fathers have to have been to construct a system where the vice president just gets to decide in the end who the next president's going to be? That would mean that the same people could stay in power. I mean, not literally the same people because we have term limits on the presidency, but the same party could stay in power forever, right? Republicans could just control the White House forever. Or Democrats, whoever decided to exercise that option where they go against the will of the people and open the other envelope. And the vice president could just decide anytime he wants to do that. I mean, but people will believe literally anything. Let's see. That reminds me. So sponsors, of course, I did mention the Hop Knot, our wonderful sponsor in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. Of course, we have other great sponsors here at WMNH, like Queen City Cabinetry. Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, and the OG of WMNH sponsors, CGI Business Solutions. But we have something I didn't even tell it. This is a surprise for everybody. I didn't tell anybody about this yet. We have a brand new sponsor here coming on board for the show. Babelocity. Here's the commercial spot they've given us to play.
Hi, Babelocity. I booked a king next to the Capitol, and you gave me a single 12 miles from all the action.
Babelocity presents The Overthrowing Gnome, enforcer of the new Babelocity Guarantee.
I'm on my way.
Sorry about the mix-up, sir. Babelocity called, and it's all sorted out now. Will you need any help breaking into the Capitol?
No, that's okay. I'm wise.
Oh, of course, sir.
I'm here to enforce the Anarchy Guarantee.
Sir, I expressly asked for a room with a balcony so I could sit and keep an eye on the pizza parlor across the street.
I'm on my way.
Thank you. Ma'am, your balcony room is now available. Do you need binoculars?
Ha! Those are for people who can't see the truth.
Release the Kraken and give her a first-class seat on Un-American Airlines.
The Babylocity Anarchy Guarantee. If you and your psychotic hillbilly friends' accommodations aren't right, we'll make it right. From the price, to the room, to the trip. You'll never overthrow alone.
Whee!
Wow, very exciting. Babylocity coming on board. Welcome to our new sponsor here at Matt Connarton Unleashed. Very, very exciting. Let's take a moment and say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. Wayne Noel, who is a top fan all the way from Michigan, says afternoon and happy Friday, Matt. Mike Pelopita, who is a top fan, speaking of Queen City Cabinetry, one of our fine sponsors here at the station, says, hi, Matt. Good afternoon, everyone. Tony D from the Tony D Show is in the Facebook live chat. Tony, of course, we spoke with a few minutes ago. Texas Mike in the Facebook live chat, who is a top fan, congratulating Tony D on the news. Let's see. DJ, I'm laughing because Wayne Noel said, oops, when Tony D mentioned that he was having another child. Well, he did say it was an accident. DJ Midas, who is a top fan in the Facebook live chat, says, hey guys, Midas, of course, part of the WMNH family, host of Late Night Delight, which you can hear every Saturday night beginning at 12 midnight all the way to 4 a.m. with a replay on Sunday. And this weekend's Late Night Delight, very, very special. It is the 4-year anniversary of Late Night Delight here on WMNH. So very exciting. By the way, speaking of programming too here at the station, I'll remind you, it is Friday tonight at 8 p.m. from 8 to 10 p.m. right here from WMNH. It's Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. And I have the honor and privilege of being Paul's co-host on that show, along with our great friend Dan Randlett. And so you can hear the three of us tonight from 8 to 10 p.m. We are back live this week. Last couple of weeks were pre-recorded, but tonight we will be live. From 8 to 10. Very exciting. Let's see. Rocky Huber, who is a top fan, says, hello, Rocky. Listening to the morning show is like going to a VFW post and listening to the old men trade stories, LOL. Well, but the thing is here, there's no alcohol allowed here at the station. So, you know, not exactly. Texas Mike reminds us, too, I will be going all the way to 6 p.m. Today. Tonight's Granite State of Mind is pre-recorded. So I'll be able to go right up to 6 p.m. because after that, I have a full 2 hours to clean everything because, you know, it is the COVID era. I got to wipe it all down and disinfect and so on. Brian Mackey, who is a top fan all the way from Idaho and host of the No More Excuses podcast. I continue to get compliments on my wonderful No More Excuses hat. Brian says, good afternoon, all. Jenny is in the Facebook live chat. Jenny says, shalom. Tom Blanchard is in the Facebook live chat. Tom says, bonjour, which I think is French or something. Oui, monsieur, or whatever. I don't know. I don't really know any French. I probably should learn some. There's a lot of French-speaking people around here in Manchester. Let's see who else we got here. Miriam Banish, who is a top fan, joins us in the Facebook live chat. Rocky Huber, referring to, so Tony D, he mentioned it yesterday, and this is what he was referring to during his call today about, trying to come up with what a name, if a movie is made, and probably more than one movie, and many, many books will be written, but if a full-length feature film is made by Hollywood about the Trump administration, what should it be called? And I think Tony's thought today was Insurgents would be a suitable title. Rocky says the name of the movie should be called The Stable Genius, LOL. Yes, he did. President Trump has described himself as a stable genius. Well, he does have that very, very large brain, as he likes to say. Scott Robinson is a top fan. Scott says, did you catch that ridiculous Giuliani clip from the rally yet? No, I was going to look for that because that came up on the show yesterday. And I think, actually, Scott, I think you had mentioned it. And then I did not get a chance to look for that yet. Wayne says impeachment is probably not going to happen. The Senate is not in session. Well, the House, he'll be impeached in the House, but he has to be tried in the Senate. So it will be impeachment, but there won't be any conviction or removal. But if I understand correctly, he only needs to be impeached by the House, and that will be number 2. And then he can no longer be eligible for the presidency going forward. Oh, Wayne also looks like this probably came from Wikipedia, I'm assuming. Information about Mark Rich. Mark Rich was the billionaire financier who had fled the country to escape prosecution, who Bill Clinton had pardoned. It says here, just a little bit of this. He was a fugitive who had fled the U.S. during his prosecution and was residing in Switzerland. Rich owed $48 million in taxes and was charged with 51 counts for tax fraud and was pardoned for tax evasion. He was required to pay a $1 million fine and waive any use of the pardon as a defense against any future civil charges that were filed against him in the same case. Critics complained. Trying to scroll down here. It's giving me a little trouble. The problem is it's not the computer. I'm trying to do that with my left hand. Critics complained that Denise Eisenberg Rich, his former wife, had made substantial donate. Oh, that's right. The donations. Yeah. Yeah. Everything about it is super sketchy. Had made substantial donations to both the Clinton Library and to Mrs. Clinton's Senate campaign. According to Paul Volcker's independent investigation of Iraqi oil for food kickback schemes, Mark Rich was a middleman for several suspect Iraqi oil deals involving over 4 million barrels of oil. Yeah, so that was, like I said, I don't think Bill Clinton's ever fully explained it. Rhonda Favero is in the Facebook live chat. Rhonda says, hi, guys, and we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt. It's Stacie Laughton down in Nashua.
Stacie Laughton, how are you?
I'm doing well. I know you were talking about one thing, but I wanted to call and let you know of some other interesting information coming out of the State House.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, we got an email from the Democratic leader, the press release here, and we yet again have another state representative, and this is public information. We have another state representative. He's another longtime representative, Representative James, I think it's Spillane. He's a Republican, and he has also been making anti-Semitic comments and remarks in public and on social media.
Well, it doesn't entirely shock me, only because over the course of the last 4 years, we've seen an incredible rise in anti-Semitism online, and people seem to feel a certain freedom and security in doing that they maybe didn't quite feel before. So it's not terribly shocking, but it is obviously very disturbing and disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
And
it upsets me because any sort of hate speech against any person, whether they're LGBT, whether it's their religious background or affiliations, their racial it doesn't matter. Those are things we should never be hating on another individual. I think back over the course of history, when we've had, the beginning days of like the civil rights movement, and one thing that always has struck me about the famous speech from Dr. Martin Luther King was he wasn't just talking about, acceptance of black people. He was talking about, one day, that all could sit down at the table of brotherhood, just everybody. and that's not excluding anyone. And so, like, I just don't understand why. I know, in the last 4 years, it seems like, because even Trump, I mean, he's given people a ticket to basically be able to hate people, and it's getting to be, like you said, it's disturbing, because now it's becoming more common, and it's almost like, to some people it's acceptable to talk this way or to act these hateful ways,
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think people just feel more emboldened than ever, that they can just do that and get away with it. And a lot of it is that sort of that. I mean, there was already a backlash to political correctness that was happening, but then the dam just kind of broke open, and people are just kind of putting their hate out in public at levels that we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, and so it's just, and as I've said on your show before, we're members of the House of Representatives, and decorum is a big part of what they teach us in orientation, and decorum extends far beyond the halls of the State House. State representatives should act in a decorous manner that's, maybe like different from, not to say that, we walk in a better step, but maybe in a step that's, we follow the laws, we, kind of lead by example, if you will, and because if we expect the citizens of the state to do the things that we're, make laws for, we have to demonstrate those things as well. We can't put ourselves above anything. Just because we're representatives, we're no better than any other human being.
Absolutely. And also, too, you want your constituents to feel like you represent everyone, like you represent all of them. There's Joe Biden talks about that, President-elect Joe Biden, how he wants to represent all Americans. I can't even imagine Trump saying something like that, and certainly can't imagine him meaning it. And it's
right.
It's not a great feeling when your elected officials, or as I like to say, our elected lawgivers and overlords, when you feel like they don't represent you, they represent somebody else, and they don't represent you. And in Washington,
Absolutely.
Of course, in Washington, D.C., at the national level, and this, if I may be cynical, which I generally am about this, at the national level, they don't represent us anyway. They represent the lobbyists and the special interest groups and whoever donates to their campaigns, and that's true for both Republicans and Democrats. They don't truly represent us. They con us into thinking that they represent us, and but they really don't. I mean, it's all about the money, and that's who they really work for. They're paymasters. But but here in New Hampshire, we have a citizen legislature, and for people who don't know, we have I forget if it's the third or the fourth largest democratically elected legislative body in the world. We have a very large legislature here. And so, you really kind of have that direct access to your New Hampshire House members and even the New Hampshire Senate, which obviously is much smaller.
Yes.
But, so it's important that people feel like their representatives represent them. And it's unfortunate.
Exactly.
It's unfortunate for anyone, when your state rep is out there making anti-Semitic statements and if you happen to be Jewish, then you feel like, okay, well, obviously this person does not represent me.
Right. I mean, I may not be Jewish, but I have obviously a decent amount of Jewish constituents, and I'm sure a good chunk of them voted for me. So the way I see it is I represent them, even though I'm not, like Jenny's Jewish, but, it doesn't stop me from, being a good friend to her and, gaining and receiving, good advice and whatnot. So, I mean, we're in this world together, and we shouldn't be. I just don't feel like it's worth hating people,
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely. Hate is toxic.
So anyways, I just wanted to say, hey, TGIF, it's been awesome to hear you back for another week and the morning show, and to see Ben last night and Daryl and everybody. So I've been really excited to see the life get breathed back into the studio up there. And I know you guys are doing it at a socially distanced, which is great, and it's responsible.
Yeah.
And but it's great to see the content and hear the content come back for the new year. And we're just completed another week, and the first week of the new year for you guys. So this is awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Stacie. Thank you for all the support as always. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been great to be back this week, and it's certainly an unusual time. It's
been a very eventful week.
It certainly has. It certainly has. It's nice to be able to come in and talk about it. I don't know what I'd be doing if I wasn't on the air for 2 hours a day.
I know.
I'd be losing my mind. So.
Well, it's good to see you back, and it's good to hear you laugh, because I know I don't want to get into details, but I know you had posted something recently, and a lot of us were, on your side, because feelings, anxiety and whatnot. So hey, it's good to see you back on the air and to see you doing what you love.
Oh, thank you, Stacie. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Yes. So anyways, I'll let you all go and let you get on with the show, but thanks for taking my call.
All right. Anytime, my friend. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
Right. Bye-bye. All right. The Honorable Stacie Laughton from the great city of Nashua, New Hampshire. Let's see. We'll take a break in a moment. I have something fun to play, but Rocky Huber says in the Facebook live chat, let's keep the line clear in case Easy G wants to call in and swear again, please. I had to hit the dump button on Easy G yesterday. If you didn't hear the show, Easy G got a little bit of a potty mouth. Had to remind him we don't work blue here on the FM radio. Oh well. All right, let's take a break. It is just after 5 p.m. By the way, I do see Bobby Champagne is in the Facebook live chat, as well as Gonzo and Abigail Gem have all joined us in there in the last few minutes. Melanie Fedderson I see in there as well. And I think everyone else I had acknowledged earlier. So we'll take a little break, and we will be right back with more to come here on Matt Connarton Unleashed. We are live from WMNH 95.3.
Sit down and shut up. No fake news. Shut up. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the press room in the White House, where I live, and I'm not going anywhere. I am not going anywhere. They're going to have to take me out of here kicking and screaming because I'm not going. Now, look, I'm tired, and I'm not in a good mood, okay? So no questions, and don't interrupt me. There's been a great deal of confusion around my perfect call to the Secretary of State of Georgia. Of all the perfect calls I've ever made, and I have made a lot of perfect calls. Believe me, the one to Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger or whatever his name is, it was perfect. It was a perfect call, all right? It was perfect in its perfectness, perfectly perfect, perfecticity. And many, many people are saying it's probably the most perfect call ever. And Perfect Call magazine gives it 5 stars. 5 stars. And they say it's up there with the 5 greatest calls in the history of mankind, including the one with Alexander Graham Bell. Now, many, many people in the fake news, the radical left, and the Antifa media misheard what I was saying. This is due to the fact it was illegally recorded on crappy equipment, which was probably made by Dominion in China. And we all know Dominion also makes Antifa products. Did you know that? It's true. It's true. Dominion doesn't just make crappy, compromised voting machines. They also make a full line of Antifa products in their China factory. Antifa backpacks, Antifa water bottles, Antifa masks, Antifa goggles, Antifa hand sanitizer, and of course, the very dangerous Antifa nunchucks. Nunchucks. They love the nunchucks at their riots. Now, Dominion is laughing at us. Dominion hired Antifa ballot counters, and they were using copiers, scanners, duplicators, 3D printers, making millions and millions of fraudulent ballots with people who have been dead for years, okay? Because there's no way I lost in Georgia. All right, now we just need to find the hidden votes. The hidden votes. I'm a builder. And when you build, you excavate. And when you excavate, you find things. Sometimes you find a gas line and you accidentally blow up a city block. You might find a dinosaur bone and you bring it to Sleepy Joe Biden, who identifies it as his pet Rex, because he's old. He's an old guy. He's very old. So I'm digging for my votes. And that's all I was doing on that perfect call, okay? Trump is about finding. I talk about finding all the time. Finding, right, Kelly? Right? I talk about finding. I'm a big finder. No one finds the way I find. I'm a tremendous finder. Many people have said my findingness is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They've never seen anyone find like me. So I need somebody in Georgia to find 11,780 votes, all right? It's pretty simple, all right? I do it myself, and they let me in the warehouse. How hard can it be? We'll find them. If not, we'll print them up, and I'll sign them myself. Okay? You're making this much harder than it actually is, Georgia. This country is all about finding your car keys, finding your mate, finding another mate, finding a third and final mate with a much better prenup, finding your roots, finding yourself, finding Neverland, finding Forrester, finding Nemo, finding Dory, finding Nemo, finding Dory. Boy, they didn't even really change the title. That's pretty lazy on their part. And this moron in Georgia, the Secretary of State, Brad Rattenberger, and let's face it, the attorney, Ryan Germany, he's difficult. Oh boy, is he difficult. And the German people, they don't like me. Because I gave them a hard time about the money they owe NATO. And I don't like Angela Merkel, okay? That guy's a weirdo. He dresses up like an unattractive woman. So that's why Ryan Germany is who he is, okay? He's a German never-Trumper, which is unbelievable, okay? And we all know where his allegiances are. Germany, not Georgia. He's German. He loves Germany. He loves Germany so much he changed his name to Germany. Did you know that? We just found that out today. His real name is Smith. The fake news is saying this perfect call was unhinged. It was very hinged. I know hinged. I'm a builder. I know hinged. I was extremely hinged. Probably the most hinged I've ever been. I'm like the king of hinged. The fake news, NBC said, I said to the Secretary of State to overturn the election results. I never said overturn. I never said the word over or the word turn in that entire conversation. I said flip. Totally different. They should be ashamed. Flip and overturn are two totally different things. And what does the fake news know? They said Tanya Roberts was dead before she was dead. Tanya Roberts is alive, and so is my victory. Now, a lot of people in Georgia are very, very angry. A lot of people around the country are very, very angry. Melania is always angry for no apparent reason. She has a great life, but she's always in a bad mood. All right, slapping my hand away, not giving me her new cell number. This is why I prefer the fake Melania. She's so much nicer, and she smiles a lot more. She's really very nice. And, well, look, the fake news is saying I'm all over the place. I'm not focused. I'm scattershot. I'm throwing everything against the wall to see what sticks with this voter case. But as I said on the call, thousands and thousands of dead people, okay? We've got witnesses. An entire graveyard in Atlanta rose up from the dead, voted for Joe Biden without ID, walked back to their coffins, changed their clothes, and voted again. Affidavits are pouring in. Right, Kaylee? This is huge. I heard the smell of the dead people was disgusting. Remember, in any tweets, use hashtag voter fraud. Thousands of people from out of state voting, right? They shipped them in on buses. Thousands of Trump ballots burned. And burning a Trump ballot is like burning the U.S. flag. Thousands of Trump ballots shredded. They shredded my ballots. They brought in an industrial shredder and shredded hundreds of thousands of Trump ballots and used it as confetti at a victory party for Joe Biden. So insulting. That's my confetti. That is my confetti from my ballots, okay? Okay, I should have been at my victory party, and we had a great victory party planned. We did. We had a great party planned. We had 3 doors down, right? Vanilla Ice. Scott Baio's brother, Bobby Baio, who's a tremendous opera singer. I don't really like opera, but he was willing to sing for free. Also, thousands of Biden ballots were snuck in after the water main break. Thousands of Biden ballots being counted 3 times. Thousands of military Trump ballots magically switched to Biden. Thousands of Dominion machines that were switching my votes, Trump votes to Biden votes. Do you believe this? All right, thousands of Dominion machines that have been mysteriously moved. Thousands of Dominion machines that had their inner parts taken out and replaced with old VCR parts. I mean, they're not even like good VCRs. I mean, that's like the kinds of crap you buy in Times Square. Now, if you add all those thousands and thousands of thousands up, you get millions of votes. Case closed. And then on the other side of this, I had thousands and thousands and thousands of people at my rallies. And I think we should get some extra credit votes for that right out of the box. Did you see the Biden rallies? No one was there. We had far bigger rallies. That alone should prove we won. I've always said the bigger the rally, the bigger the victory. One rally alone, we had 50,000 people. 50,000 people. I think I should get those 50,000 votes. And then we're done. We're done. Case closed. We're done. It's all over. I don't need anything else. Just give me those 50,000. And I think that's a good deal. That's a good deal. Okay, I'm a deal maker. I can prove that because all of the people that were there videotaped it, and we had the fake news there, right? You were all there, okay? And I sold millions and millions of hats. Millions and millions of hats. And you total up the number of hats I sold, all right? It would be so high. And I think that's what we should base the voting on, is how many hats were sold, because you have to buy the hats. But voting is free. Voting's free. You see what I'm saying? They paid for the hats, so I should win. I should win. So simple. I don't think I'm all over the place. I'm not all over the place. I'm not scattershot. I'm very focused. Good research, okay? And this guy Rassenberger accused me of getting faulty information from social media. I'm not even on social media. I'm not on social media. I can't remember the last time I was on Facebook or Twitter. I don't get my information from social media. I get my information from Trump media, okay? We have a video that's been magnified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. It shows, okay? It shows what happened with the suitcase. And we watched it in reverse. We watched it forwards, and we watched it backwards. And we saw the suitcase with the phony Biden votes being taken out. Now, look, I think I've been very clear and very concise. I just want to find 11,780 votes. I can't be any clearer than that. Oh, and by the way, NBC, Washington Post, New York Times, I like it. It's a compliment when somebody calls me a mafia don. You know why? Because everyone knows who you are. Everyone needs something from you, and everyone fears you. So that's a compliment. Now let's find those votes. No questions, especially from you.
back, everybody. Here we are, hour number 2, well in hour number 2 of Matt Connarton Unleashed. And we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org and on the Facebook, on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page on this Friday, January 8th, 2021. I want to remind you, of course, that we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street, right across the street. I can see them from here. I can wave, but they won't see it because there's a slight delay. But anyway, yes, the Hop Knot, they have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. It's a great place. Everything is very safe there, by the way. The staff is masked at all times, and they're very strict about it. The tables are nice and spread out, and they do clean and sanitize everything consistently. It's very, very safe there, and they take it very seriously. So, of course, you can always, just go and get your food to go as well. They do carry out. It's a great place, great service, great food, and a great family that owns and operates it. So we're very honored and privileged to have them as a sponsor. Of course, we have other great sponsors here at WMNH 95.3, like Queen City Cabinetry. Our friend Mike Pelopita is a big supporter of the station. I always see him in the chat room on Facebook during our shows, this show and the morning show and the other shows as well. And, of course, the OG of WMNH sponsors, CGI Business Solutions. They've been with us from the very beginning, before I was even on the station. So it's great. We get a lot of support. And speaking of support, I want to remind everybody, too, please do whatever you can to support your local businesses. We love you to support our sponsors, and particularly the Hop Knot, as they sponsor this show. But anything you can do to support businesses, we're still a long way from being over, being through this terrible COVID-19. And the Biden vice old habits. I keep saying vice. President-elect Joe Biden has announced plans to speed up the vaccination process because the current administration, I give them credit for Operation Warp Speed for doing whatever they could to help facilitate the development of these vaccines and the manufacturing of them. But apparently they didn't have anything in mind as far as distribution, which is kind of important. So because of that too, we've had quite the setback. The vaccines are coming. I mean, they have started. I don't think they're finished yet by any stretch, but they have begun vaccinating healthcare workers throughout the country who have, been the first priority, which I agree with absolutely. But it's going to be a while before, just anyone can go and get the vaccine who wants to be vaccinated. So we've still got a ways to go. I'd love to see people masking up and working together to try to get through this. But also, too, keeping in mind, businesses have taken a terrible pummeling during all this. A lot of businesses have closed who aren't coming back. But anything you can do to support your local businesses. Don't worry about the big chains. Walmart will be just fine regardless, right? But small business is important to be concerned about. So anything you can do to support our small businesses, please do. It's extraordinarily important. If you'd like to chime in, we will be on all the way to 6 p.m., 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton. You can shoot an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can always opine and interact in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do is to give us a call at 603-250-6007. Also, if you're interested, last night I was on the Dr. Kevin Show, which streams online at Ohm Times Radio. That's Ohm as in Ohm, O-M. If you missed it, you want to check it out later, you can. We talked about politics for the hour. I go on that show the first Thursday of every month. So you can go to ohmtimes.com/IOM and look for the Dr. Kevin Show, and you'll find the archive of my appearance on that program. And then tonight at 8 p.m. from 8 to 10, back live here from WMNH. It's Retro Spectrum Radio with Paul E.C., and I will be here for that as well, as I'm Paul's co-host on that show, as well as our great friend Dan Randlett, who will also be here co-hosting. So we look forward to that. Always fun to hang out with Paul on Friday night, and we are back live this week tonight from 8 to 10. Also, too, I would remind you, Saturday night, Late Night Delight with DJ Midas, celebrating the 4-year anniversary of being here on WMNH. So Saturday night from midnight all the way to 4 a.m. with a replay on Sunday night. If you miss it, Midas, of course, part of the WMNH family and does a great show. Jenny enjoys it. She'll actually paint while she listens to the show, which is very cool. So Midas is inspiring some of her art. So we look forward to that. So always plenty going on. Of course, you've got the morning show with Peter White weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. with a replay from 2 to 4 p.m. And this morning, there was, I think I'm going to go ahead and play it for you in case you missed it. The replay actually was of yesterday's show. So if you depend on the replay, you might not have heard it. But of course, we had the incident yesterday here on Matt Connarton Unleashed, the incident where Easy G, I had to hit the dump button on Easy G. Good thing we're on a delay. He was working blue yesterday during his little argument with Daryl Dion. Well, if you didn't hear it, Easy G called into the morning show today to speak with Daryl, and this is what transpired. Well, I don't hear anything. Oh, geez, I might not be able to play it. Something went wrong here. Let me see. Bear with me just a moment. Something has gone horribly awry.
Gets digitally now. That it kind of hurt these record stores. Newberry Comics.
Yeah. Okay, I think I figured out the issue here, but there might be another problem.
So there's official investigations now?
Yeah.
She saw them as trying to do.
Business administration, investment. He was a hurting puppy.
Yeah.
30 minutes, Oh, yeah, you're right.
If you think about it, the people involved and...
Oh, yeah. This is way back in 2019.
Right.
Now I can't find it.
Cupcakes and muffins.
Oh, here we go.
But yeah, because of all that.
All by himself.
I don't know.
I love that Taco Gate scenario. That was beautiful.
Okay, I found it. I'm sorry, everybody. I made a mistake, but here it is. It's coming.
Taco Gate's great.
Yeah,
make some Taco Gate t-shirts.
It's a real story. I mean, that really happened.
It really did happen.
He was making moves on the behind the scenes. He really was.
We have we'll come back to that. We have a call. Let's grab this call, and then I'll play the call from Easy G into the morning show today. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, Matt. This is Ron. I don't hear you too good. I'll do my best to hear you.
Okay.
I wanted to just say I'm just putting on your show now, so I don't know what's going on. But I heard that Peter's there, and I called in earlier today. I never got a chance to say, Peter, sorry I pissed you off a little bit. I know you didn't lose any sleep over it, but thank you for putting my song in. I appreciate it.
All right, very good. Well, as long as, here's the thing, Ron, as long as you don't get into any sort of confrontation with Easy G, because he'll challenge you to get down and dirty.
No, that ain't going to happen. I love him for the big heart that he has.
Yes.
And everything else about him drives me nuts.
But you don't want to get down and dirty with Easy G.
No, I'm those down and dirty days are over. You want to kick my ass, I'm going to walk away. Not going to happen.
I think that's wise. He does use anabolic steroids. All right, Ron. Well, thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much for the call, my friend.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, you got it. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I don't know if Ron realizes that Peter isn't actually here in the studio with me, but this is audio from the morning show, but I'm sure Peter's listening. I'm sure he got the message. All right, here we go.
Switching it up.
Yeah, he got a bunch of people involved. And
oh, yeah. This is way back in 2019.
Right. That seems like yesterday.
Oh, I know.
2019.
Keep on reliving it.
Yeah. Let's take this call here. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, it's easy. I want to explain what happened yesterday, Peter.
Okay, but then you can't just hang up and bail.
No, I'm not going to hang up this time. I'm going to try to listen to your side of the table.
Oh, okay.
What happened was I haven't been getting much sleep lately, so I kind of blame it on that. But hey, it's 100% my fault. I was a little too aggressive, and I apologize for swearing. So that's why I bought you guys some muffins to make up for my stupidity yesterday.
Well, thank you very much, Easy. But you should spend the kind of money. You know, we know you're on a fixed income. Take it easy, man. Save your money.
No, I know, but that money's from Uncle Sam. That's not even my money.
Oh, that was the fund of the 600?
It is your money, though.
It is your money.
True, but hey, I wanted to redeem myself for being a jerk on the radio yesterday. I mean, that's not me. Like you say, I've never sworn on the radio before. I'm still embarrassed about that, by the way.
A little unusual.
It was a little unusual. You're not off to a great start this year.
Right, but hey, I was trying to redeem myself with buying some Bridge Cafe muffins for you guys.
I know, that's called bribery. That's bribery.
And I got you some cupcakes for you and Stephanie.
I know, but that's bribery.
No, it's not bribery.
And it works.
Trying to,
so that cupcake's
make
not
up
for
my
me?
stupidity.
And it works.
It always works with Matt. When I was on the S list, if I brought some cookies, he eliminated me from the S list.
Well, I know.
But they call that bribery, man.
I know that's bribery, and we'll accept your bribe.
We'll take it.
He loves food. I always bring food in all the time. Cupcakes and muffins and candy. He loves it.
Yeah.
We're enjoying it as well.
Yes, we like to enjoy cupcakes and muffins also.
So there you go.
So
thanks, Easy.
We do appreciate it, but you got to remember what.
Oh, I thought you would.
What puts you over the edge like that? What makes you say, "Do you want to get down?"
I don't know. It was just an argument, I guess. And it was funny because I put it in your chat room 2 days ago that for the first 6 days of the month, I haven't lost my cool.
Right.
Is it lack of sleep, Easy?
I think it is. Yeah, I've only gotten like probably 10 hours sleep the last 4 days or something like that. I don't know. Lose track.
That's not good.
My insomnia is driving me nuts because I've had problems ever since I got out of the hospital in August. When I was there for 2 weeks, my boy, the food was really good. But other than that, it was really awful. And then I had no sleep those 2 weeks because you can't sleep with the lights on 24 hours a day.
How are you treating it?
How am I what?
Treating it.
Sleeping?
No, yeah, sleeping. How are you treating it medically?
Not very well. Not very well at all. No.
Do you want us to sing a lullaby and try to put you to sleep right now?
No, I got to stay up because I got to go my yearly physical today. So, and I got a lot of questions. So I got them all written down for the doctor. So,
you know where they're going to go, right?
No, my doctor doesn't do that stuff. So.
Oh no, they do now. They do now. It's 2021.
Absolutely, they do it all.
You're 50 years old.
Hey, Peter, I keep hearing you complaining about getting some new glasses. You know, there's an eye vision right down the street from the office.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Just a tip of the day. I'm trying to help you out, buddy.
Well,
thanks,
man.
I noticed this year my eyes are the worst they've ever been. So if I can't use my glasses, I'm completely blind. It's awful.
Well, I understand that, but I'm still trying to get over this whole.
My eyes have gotten a lot worse this year. I don't know what happened.
See, you're not listening. You're not listening.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
What I'm saying is, the whole down and dirty thing. How many times have you gotten down and dirty with anybody?
No, I've never said that before. I'll be honest with you.
That
I don't
guy?
know where that came from. That was a bad side of me.
Who was the guy?
When I got mad at Jeff Nyan.
What I know.
Yeah, who is that?
Yeah,
I got mad at my ex-wife when she threw me out.
What are we going to call that guy?
The devil.
Bizarro.
You know what they say? There's a devil in you and there's a good guy in you. The devil came out.
No, Bizarro.
But unfortunately, it's 100% my fault. I have to admit that.
Right, but that is. Listen to me now. You listen to me now.
I got a little too wild on the radio.
Listen, you're not listening. You're not listening again. Are you listening now?
Yes.
Now I forgot what I was saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks again for the muffins.
Yeah, we got to go.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Try not to get down and dirty this weekend, okay?
I'm going to try not to because I got a church group to go to tonight. We're going to do it on Zoom because of the COVID.
Were you going to tell?
I'll try to behave myself tonight. I hope I don't say that S word. Oh, my God.
Are you going to
tell? That'll be the last time they invite me on.
Are you going to tell church what you did?
I might, yeah. It's illegal to let me, yeah.
Yeah, I would. I
he
would.
knows him on the radio. He thinks I'm a big celebrity.
Right.
Yeah, I think you think you're a
You
big
see me on
celebrity
Channel
too.
9 and everything. Oh boy.
Right. You're all over the place.
Yeah.
Would you say you're right up?
But yeah, I might bring it up, but I might not. You know, it's a religious group. You know, you don't want to get down and dirty on the Zoom.
Oh,
yeah, you need
no.
to. You need to say that. Yeah, I dare you to say that word you said on the radio at church.
Right. And that would be the last time they invite me on to the Zoom for the Connect group tonight. So
Jeff,
I got to behave myself. You know.
Jeff,
there's going to be ladies in the Zoom tonight.
Hey,
so.
listen. You listen to me now.
The ladies don't want to hear that bad word.
You listen to me now. Are you listening?
Yep.
All right. Jeff Nyan is calling for the ban of Eric for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. I responded to him and I said he should be banned from calling too because of his comments against me. So there you go.
Why?
Right back at him, baby.
What? Oh.
Ooh. Right back at you, baby.
I already told him that in the chat room.
It sounds like you want
He's
to
going to get down and dirty with me. I'm going to get down and dirty with him.
Whoa.
There's a reason why I didn't call, but he was on the radio. I can't stand the guy. I'm sorry, but
What do you mean?
not
you
a
can't,
fan.
What do you mean you can't stand him? He's one of the nicest guys out there.
Peter, it doesn't
Well,
sound
hey,
like
I'm just not a fan of him.
You haven't
That's
learned.
why I didn't call. He said, "Wow, why is he not calling?" Well, I'm just not a big fan of him. That's all.
You
I was
haven't
great
learned.
that he apologized to me, but I think it was a little too late.
You
Can't
haven't
do it.
learned. You haven't learned anything at all.
Not at
That's
all.
what I think.
Hey, I'm just letting you know. I think his apology was a little too late. He came after me for 2 weeks, and he wouldn't let it go. And come to find out, I was in the right. I'm still in the right.
Whoa. You are.
Hey, Angelo Silver, I figured it all out. And so did you, Peter. You were on my side.
Whoa.
I'll break that fourth wall.
Well, what?
Wow.
Whoa.
Break
Gee.
the fourth wall.
You're not
Holy
breaking
mackerel.
anything.
Let's just let it go, Jeff Nye. It's a new year.
No, it's not. You just
I'm not
started.
banned from the station.
You just
I can't come in right now because of COVID.
You just
And
started.
you can call
it up
anytime
again.
you want.
You just
Let's
started
be
it up
friends.
again. You were coming
It's
off.
a new year. Let's forget about getting down and dirty.
No, I
And
think
let's
you.
just be friends.
Okay.
I think you. I think
Eric, you just started it
you just started out. You started this.
again.
Right, well, I'm finishing it right now. Let's just be friends. Forget about what I just said.
I know, but you're turning into that same guy you were yesterday.
Yeah, I know, but I'm apologizing right now to Jeff Nye on the radio that I was just a dummy a few minutes ago.
Well,
Let's
it's
just
too
be friends.
late.
Forget
You can't-
about
No, you can't
banning
just
people from the
apologize
radio.
and
We
keeps
don't
on
do
talking.
that
You can't get
S-list
anywhere.
anymore. I haven't done
And
that for
can't-
6 months.
Can
So let's just be friends, like on Sesame Street, Bert and Ernie. Let's just be friends.
This is not Sesame Street.
Right. This isn't Sesame Street East.
This is real life.
I know. I just apologized. What else do you want me to do, Peter?
Elm Street,
I'm
bro.
sorry, Jeff Nye. It's the second time now.
I'm just
It's Elm
saying.
Street, not
You
Sesame
should show
Street.
some respect.
Dude, you wash your mouth, Eric. This is Elm Street, not Sesame Street.
Yeah, I know. But I apologize to you too, Gonzo. Okay.
Oh,
All
you
right.
I
better,
apologize to you,
You-
Peter White, and Daryl the Dragon Diana, and anybody
You
that
are-
get offended with me on the radio today.
I know. I just don't
Eric.
How's
understand.
that, Peter?
Eric,
I know.
get
I'm
some
just
sleep,
saying,
man.
You
Get some
need
sleep.
you need some sleep, buddy.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I know. It's my sleep pattern, so I apologize. But unfortunately, it's still my fault because I haven't got my sleep lately, and sometimes I say things that
Jeff
I
Nye-
shouldn't say on the radio. Like I said, I'm still embarrassed about
Here
saying
we
the
go.
S word.
All right, listen to me now. Are you listening?
Yep.
Jeff Nyan says you can go over to his house and take a nap today. He's got he has beautiful blankets
That's
and
nice.
a beautiful bed. He
That's-
said you can
That's
go
really
over
nice.
there.
That's really nice.
I've seen your
No, it's
bed.
okay.
Eric.
I got to learn how to sleep better over here. So
No, but I guess it's a real.
I'll figure it out. Don't worry, everybody. I'll figure it out one of these days. I'll sleep like 8 hours, and I'll feel a lot better. So
Okay, bye.
it's gonna happen one of these days. I'll
Daryl,
bust through that wall.
be nice, Daryl.
Bust through that wall.
I'm worried about you. We're not going to be able to talk to you.
Yeah,
till-
don't worry about me. You know,
Oh, yeah.
everybody's got their own problems, and believe me, I got plenty of them. So I don't
You're like-
want to.
You're like Dr.
I don't want to
Jekyll.
worry all the listeners. So
You're like
I'll be fine.
Okay. Listen to me now, okay? You're like Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jibe.
That's pretty much it. We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, it's Oscar from First Gen American. What's up?
Hey, Oscar. How are you doing, my friend?
Good. Just wanted to call to say Happy New Year.
Yes.
We're off to a great start. I say that sarcastically.
Yes.
But things are about to change around, and I have some great news about the change that's happening over here in your fellow sister station.
Yeah.
But most importantly, I want to talk about what happened the other day, and man, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, it certainly went further than I expected.
Yeah, but I kind of want to have your thoughts about it. Like, what do you think? Where do you think we'll go from here? What do the next 13 days look like?
Well, I'm certainly concerned about it, and I've been saying for a while that I think Trump is going to try to burn the place down on his way out the door, or perhaps get someone to do it for him. I saw today Nancy Pelosi is worried about Trump doing something militarily, which I don't think will happen, but. But I think they may impeach him. They may move to impeach him again in the House. And if Trump gets a second impeachment, he cannot run for president again. He is legally barred from running for president again. So that's a good thing. But I don't know. We're in uncharted waters. Usually a transition of power from one administration to the next is very smooth and uneventful, but not this time.
Yeah.
Not this time.
Yeah. No, I was looking at I was watching the news, and I think that what was done, and I think we need to heal and move forward collectively.
Yeah.
I think we need to have empathy and a little bit of compassion for one another. But I think that with it's interesting to see where everybody's at and what are everybody's thoughts. But impeachment, I don't know. I don't think they're going to impeach the guy.
Well, they can do it.
I think.
They can do it in the House because it's controlled by Democrats, so they can get the impeachment done in the House. There's just no chance of it then going to the Senate for a trial and conviction. There isn't time for, even with some of the Republicans who have slowly sort of come out, very tepidly and condemned the president. There's no chance of a conviction and early removal, and to even attempt that part of it at this point would be pointless. But they do have time to get an impeachment done, and like I said, it would bar him from running for president in 2024. So there is that.
I just hope that the guy doesn't even try. He just kind of goes in under a rock and just takes a little break, especially from social media. I hope his wife takes his phone away and gives him a timeout.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if she even sticks around after he's not president.
Hopefully his children, one of his children, puts him in a senior citizen home and throws away the key.
Right.
Throws away the key. But anyways, I wanted to wish you. I'm watching you from afar. Your sister radio station here in Nashua. I love what you're doing, and I love to catch up. And for all the listeners that are out there, much love and Happy New Year, and I hope that we find a better 2021. Wear your mask, wash your hands 6 feet. It's almost over.
Yeah, we're getting there. You should give your show a plug too, so people know where to hear you. I know you had a time change recently too. You got a better time slot.
Yeah. So First Gen American on WSMN 1590 AM and 95.3 FM in Nashua. We are now on prime time every Tuesday at 9 a.m. We just launched our other show completely in Spanish.
Oh.
It's called Latinos en Vivo. We talk about serious topics, education, human rights, and just all the young entrepreneurs within our community. And it's nice to have a platform in our own language, and obviously to be able to educate and come together, which in times like this is definitely rewarding, and I'm humbled by the opportunity. And thank you so much for inviting me up there, and all the guests that usually come through. We go and sit down on your radio station, and I love to share the atmosphere with a fellow another host. So
absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely, Oscar. It's our pleasure, and I look forward to being able to do that again in the future. As you probably know, we've kind of tightened our bubble here for now, just because COVID is spiraling out of control. But once Jenny and I can get vaccinated, which I don't know when that'll be given the current state of things, but we're going to start having guests again, and we'd love to have you back in, and some of the other great people that you bring with you. So good things in store. Good things in store in the future. We just got to get through this.
Absolutely. And it's great that you guys are being more vigilant about it. a quick story. I haven't visited my mom or my grandmother for the majority of the year. And when I do, I usually just get tested and then go straight into quarantine until I want to spend time with them. There's like a lot of people need to know it doesn't matter how safe you are. It still can reach you. This Christmas, my mother, my grandmother, my brother and sister, my mom's husband, my brother's girlfriend, me and my wife, we were all spending time together. We were quarantining before the holidays. We were doing online shopping, getting everything delivered, watching what we're doing, safe distancing, washing our hands, putting our mask, double-decker. And lo and behold, we were around and my grandmother had a cough. We thought it was, we had a doctor check her out and we thought it might have been, the doctor said it was a sinus infection. Lo and behold, my whole family got infected with COVID.
Oh my God.
Luckily, me and my wife, we tested negative. We quarantined for the 2 weeks. So just because you feel that you're being safe and you're doing everything you can doesn't mean it can't reach you and your loved ones. So please, whoever's listening, just protect yourselves, protect your loved ones. Luckily, everybody's, it's past them, but a lot of people that have beat it or are asymptomatic they're saying, well, I already got it, so it doesn't matter. We still have to be responsible for other people's lives and what we do and do our part. So that's just a little, that's my input.
Absolutely.
Be safe.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for sharing that, Oscar. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah. Absolutely. So thank you again for inviting me up in your show. Happy New Year to everybody, all the listeners, and stay blessed.
All right. Thank you, Oscar. Happy New Year. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That is Oscar from First Gen American, which you can hear on another 95.3 in Nashua, New Hampshire. And the shows are archived, too, if you don't get to hear his program live, which I have heard, and it's great. Oscar's... I remember being surprised to learn that he had no prior broadcasting experience because he's such a natural in front of a microphone, which is very cool. I checked out his show, and he comes across as someone who's been at this for a very long time. And I was very impressed with him when I first met him. And, for a while, and people have been asking me about it, and this will resume in the future, but for a while we were doing on Mondays, dedicating our Monday editions of this program specifically to issues of race and social justice issues in the country and whatnot. And so we were having, we were having a lot of different people, every Monday join us for those discussions. And sometimes Oscar would join us, and sometimes he would bring very interesting people from the community in and for those conversations on Mondays. And we got a lot of positive response on those, and that will continue in the future. Right now, we've really... like I said, we've really kind of tightened things up here with very limited exceptions during the hours between 4 and 6 p.m. In here. It's just me and Jenny, of course. Her and I are in the same household, so we kind of count as one. So Jenny is here with me sometimes. And, yesterday we had Daryl Dye on here. Daryl's already in the bubble, shall we say, because he's here every morning for the morning show. And he was going to be here last night and was here last night, obviously, for the weekly Dye on immediately after me. So it made sense for him to come in. And, if Kenny or Trudy from the Hop Knot wants to come on because, they're our sponsor and they help pay the bills around here. So, they're welcome. But other than that, we're keeping it very tight. Although I heard Gonzo this morning Skyping. I think it was his first time Skyping into the show. That was cool. If Gonzo wants, I know Gonzo is dying to come back on. If Gonzo wants to Skype in, of course, he's always welcome to. But yeah, we're going to, until such time as Jenny and I have both been vaccinated, that's kind of been what we've decided, how we've decided to proceed. And the way things are going, yeah, I'm thinking sometime in 2024. And I say that half joking. Half of it's kidding and half of it's my genuine pessimism, because if you notice, the government managed to botch the whole vaccine distribution right out of the gate, because of course they did. But hey, that's cool. Not like this is important or anything. Not like we have thousands and thousands of people dying from COVID-19. So, no big deal. I get frustrated. But it is wonderful to hear from Oscar. Check out his show, First Gen American. It's great. If you want to get in with a call, we've got a little under 15 minutes left. And then coming up at 6 p.m. is a recorded edition of Granite State of Mind. And then, of course, I'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. along with Paulie C. for Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. I'm Paul's co-host on that, along with Dan Randlett. So that will be later tonight from 8 to 10. But in the meantime, call us 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And we do have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Your old pal, Fred.
Fred Boenig from the Daily Ripple. How are you, my friend?
Well, I didn't go to Washington, so I'm probably not going to jail.
Yeah, good for you. No sedition for you. I think that's...
No, I know when not to go.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. You've been to Washington many, many times. You've had your picture taken, of course, with quite a few politicians. Had you been there the other day, you could have maybe taken a selfie.
I could have got my pictures on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
You could have done that. You could have even maybe photobombed a selfie of a protester and a police officer. Wouldn't that have been fun?
You know, it's so interesting, though. I mean, my question, really, the reason why I called, because I was just wondering, had you heard from Mike Doyle?
Mm-mm. No, but I did.
I'm just wondering how he feels about all this.
Yeah, I don't know. There was some speculation about that the other day, too, in the Facebook live chat. And by the way, I did see you said in the chat that you send him your love. But
yes.
but I don't know. And I don't I'm not gonna speculate. I hope that he's troubled by the events of the other day, but I don't know that he is. I'll tell you what, you
just wonder if there are still people that are of reasonable sound mind, that would still support that man.
Right. Well, I mean, there's millions of people who are going to support him no matter what, but they are not.
No, you missed that other part. Reasonable sound
of reasonable sound mind. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I wanted to, and we've talked about this both on the air and off. But there's a certain. I'll be a little bit vague. You know who I mean. But there's a certain family member of mine who I had an urge to text the other day and just say, hey, I need to know, are you okay with this? But I didn't do it because I'm afraid of the answer that I'll
get.
Might
not go to Thanksgiving? No.
Well, we didn't do anything for Thanksgiving or Christmas this year. But I didn't.
Ever?
Yeah, ever again, yeah. But I decided not to because I was afraid I would not like the answer that I got, because I'm pretty sure I know what the answer would be.
Really? You still think that person who we're both knowing who it is would still be a supporter of this guy? I mean, as much of a personal patriot that person truly is, you know? I mean,
yes,
a real guy, you know?
Yeah, because prior to, I haven't heard from him this week, but prior to the events of the other day, I had received text messages talking about how the election was stolen and how fed up he was and this and that. So yeah, I'm actually pretty sure that the individual we're speaking of is perfectly fine and thinks it was perfectly appropriate what those people did. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting too is that the Republicans like Ben Sass and stuff, who I've met and I have my picture with, is basically saying, these guys all lie. This was all a lie. There was no fraud. There was no election. There was no stealing of the election.
Right.
So there's a bunch of Republicans that are now coming out saying, this was a lie. These guys were supporting a lie.
Right.
So when does that all happen? When does everybody go, oh, it was? I mean, because I think there's a little of that happening on the dark web, saying because Trump's going, came out in his what they're calling his hostage video. I did, I'm against this.
Yeah.
At this point, because he knows he's going to jail for this. I mean, he could very. You know who the Chicago 7 is, right?
Sort
Abby
of.
Hoffman and those guys.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Right. Well, the Chicago 7, right? Well, all they said was, the one guy, Hayden, said after when the cops hit one of those guys, one of the 5 or 7 guys, and split open his head, he said on stage, he was standing there and he saw it. He goes, "Well, if there's going to be bloodshed, we're going to bleed all over this town." And then they left the park, and he got charged with inciting a riot. Well, that's what this has done. And then you have Rudy Giuliani, and you have Junior, and you have Junior's girlfriend, and you have all these people that were out there. You have Flynn. They were all inciting a riot.
Yes.
And people died.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, I keep wondering what happened to Back the Blue. I thought these same people were all about Back the Blue and supporting the police.
Yeah, that's always what I always say. Hey, when you're going to shoot the tyranny team, who's that?
Right.
The cops? I mean, who's your next door neighbor isn't tyranny.
It's all
right.
It's I don't know. Were you surprised by what happened, or did you kind of expect it?
Well, what I know, what I'm always surprised at is people always say, "Well, there's going to be a civil war," and I go, "No, there's not," because you can't get enough of these clowns off of their couch. Now, again, there was a couple thousand. Mm-hmm. There wasn't, when you look at the million, the women's march,
mm-hmm.
right, or you look at the March for Our Lives, the one for the guns, right?
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, millions of people across the country. These guys can't really draw a crowd. I mean, they get a bunch of loonies, but I mean, a few thousand isn't a lot in D.C.
That's true. I hadn't considered it that way. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, when they had the Unite the Right march,
yeah.
There was going to be the Klan was going to be in Washington again.
Yeah,
I was there. There was 25 guys.
Yeah.
There was 10,000 anti-marchers that filled the streets, and they're playing, while they're marching up the street, they're playing "Stand by Me."
Yeah.
This is amazing. People fighting for for rights, but when you get these crazy guys that they're really a small group, and now they've all had their faces on TV,
mm-hmm.
and they've all had their faces, videotaped by other people in the crowd that they were with, and they shared that on their. So all these people, for the next year, they have no place to hide.
Right.
There's not that many. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. That's a great point. Yeah.
And they weren't wearing masks. That's the thing.
Right. Yeah. I remember after Charlottesville happened, there were some of the pictures of those people, with their torches and their angry white rage
mm-hmm.
faces. Some of them, it was reported were, they lost their jobs, they lost their careers.
Well, there was that guy that was in. They had the picture of the guy, and he had his work badge on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the guy in the red hat, and he's like he's wearing his work badge. I'm like, that's good.
Yeah.
That'll get you fired.
Well, these aren't like I said earlier in the show. These aren't exactly deep thinkers. You know what I mean? They're not the sharpest knives in the drawer, and so that
and they're not the most dangerous of the bunch. The real danger is people like the Mercers, people
mm-hmm.
like the Koch, one of the only Koch brother that's left.
Yeah,
those are the guys because they actually have power.
Right. True.
And they're the ones behind a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
They're the ones funding this kind of stuff, this parlor,
mm-hmm.
These places where people are allowed to go and just spew nonsense. And because of all the years of watching Fox News and getting trained to believe nonsense,
right.
That they accept it's all anti-government,
mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah.
Everything's anti-government until you get that check, right?
That's right. That's right. Until you get
that check was that socialist check.
Yep. Well, and a lot of these folks are older and collecting Social Security, and I don't. I'm sure they're not giving it back. I'm sure they're not sending a check back to the Treasury.
Like I always say, only a socialist will cash the check.
That's right.
Well, I just wanted to call in and tell you that everything is wonderful in the world, and we don't have to worry because at 1 million vaccines a day, whenever we get to that, but when he said it to now, that would be August 22nd of 2022, when everybody got the 300 million people got 2 vaccines. If they were at 1 million a day, and they ain't even close.
Yeah. At least that one guy from Operation Warp Speed came out a couple weeks ago and said, "Oops, my bad." That was nice of him.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the thing is, I'm starting to really feel good about the new administration.
Yeah.
As much as Biden's kind of just never really sounded really great in the debate, he sounds pretty presidential now. And
it's nice.
You feel that? I mean, he's not like,
definitely.
It's very low key.
Yeah.
He's not hyping anything. He's just telling it the way it is. And he keeps putting people that you feel, just, they may not all be the most perfect person to be in the job.
Sure.
And I'm sure people will find things they don't like about him. But you get this feeling that they're gonna do infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna do that. They're going, which is going to create a whole lot of jobs.
Yeah.
And then they're going to fix Obamacare. They're going to fix it.
Yeah.
Whatever that takes, because now they have the Senate.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that Nancy Pelosi passed, that sat those 400 bills, they will repass those, and they will go back and they will come to the floor. And because of the way this all went down with Donald Trump, a lot of those Republicans, I think, are going to vote differently.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Fred, we are out of time, my friend. It's always,
I know you are, boss.
Always wonderful to hear from you, though. Stay safe, and we'll
Stay safe. Give your honey a hug for me, but do it with a mask on, all right?
All right, there we go. All right, thanks, Fred. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, the great Fred Boenig, also from Philadelphia, in addition to our friend Tony D. We are out of time. Make sure you tune in tonight, 8 to 10, for Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. I'll be here for that. I hope you are, too. Love you all. Have a great weekend. Put your mask on. Stay safe. Talk to you later.